of the scenarios, organization miss to do a full assessment of their current state, which again adds more challenges onto them to successfully complete the adoption. So to avoid this, in the preparation and assessment phase, we would have two primary blocks of assessment. First one is the assessment of our data culture. Like Prashant mentioned in the previous slides about data culture, we have different areas within the data culture that needs to be evaluated. And first we have the business alignment, and over here we would kind of analyze how well the data culture and data strategy is actually enabling the business users to achieve their business objectives. And we also saw about executive sponsorship in the previous slides as well. To call out some of the most important areas over here, that would be data literacy, data discovery, and data democratization. Specifically in the data literacy area, you would be asking questions like how comfortable are people actually with making decisions based on data and evidence compared to intuition and subjective experience. And when you come into the data discovery area, you'll be asking questions like, are people using the appropriate data sources and tools, or resisting them in favor of legacy ones? So in the same pattern, we would be asking around 8 to 9 questions in each of these areas to assess the organization fully and understand the current state. And based on the current state, we would also write down the future state goals against each of these areas where we want to go towards. So once we have the data culture assessment completed, we will be moving on into the technical area assessment. But before that, we look at like a small example on how we'll assess specific to the business alignment area. So let's consider we have a logistics company and we are assessing them in the business alignment area. So during this assessment, we find that we have three primary operational departments, let's say transportation, warehousing, and customer services. And this is the most common scenario that we've already seen in most of our clients, where the transportation team or team one would be focusing on their own deliverable or their own business focus area or goals. Let's say for transportation team, it's going to be optimizing delivery routes using GPS data, while the warehousing team focusing on inventory levels using a separate system. And based on request, these departments would be raising a IT ticket to request the following information from IT team. So from this scenario, what we can actually observe is that each of their departments have their own set of insights and priorities, and that is not commonly being discussed anywhere. And they also try to focus on the immediate needs right now rather than focusing on the long-term plan to be strategically using the data to gain business insights. So based on these evaluation points, we can confirm or finalize that we are in the level 200 in terms of business alignment. And let's say our future goal is to get to level 400, which is efficient. And in order for them to reach this level, they need to follow certain steps and they need to create a unified data strategy plan that aligns with the business goals. And they need to have continuous monthly or quarterly meetings with the same group of people to ensure that any changes in the business objectives are reflected in the data strategy. And when all the teams come together to discuss and form the strategy, we have the correct set of priorities that also align with the business. And as a result, this organization would have a clearly defined strategy along with a fixed set of reports that would also include both route optimization and inventory insights, and they can combine this to form a consolidated dashboard to provide a single view to their users. Once we have the data culture assessment ready, we would go through the technical area assessment, and these areas are already known by most of the organizations. And some key areas that we can highlight over here that is mostly missed is the data loss prevention and the data quality and the master data management, which is most of the time deprioritized, but we also need to prioritize these areas to make sure the assessment is fully done. And once we complete both of these assessments, we'll have a clear picture of where we are right now and where we need to move towards. So based on the assessment, we would start off with our planning. And we usually most of the companies, what they do is they start off with a direct solution planning instead of focusing on the actual strategy to execute the plan. So in order to ensure that the initiatives are well structured and prioritized, we need to start off with a tactical plan, which is followed by a solution plan. So in the first state, we'll be checking the readiness and priorities that we've already listed, and we'll be setting our priorities over here. And we usually focus on urgent tasks and we try to prioritize them. And we also aim for quick wins and high impact activities in the first phase to make sure that we're showing immediate value over there. And the second phase in planning is key results, where we need to set key results and KPIs to track our progress. We also look at key results in three main areas, which is important, like adoption, governance, and implementation. And the third part is about defining the solution and initiatives. We need to support our key results while also meeting our business data needs. So at the final part, we would be revising our plans based on feedback from users and peers and any changes in the technologies. To make sure we are adapting to all these changes and feedbacks, we usually schedule meetings to make sure we are revising our tactical plan and we are updating our project plan based on these changes. So in the solution plan, the first phase would be requirement gathering and planning. And in this phase, we'll gather both the business and technical requirements. And once we have the requirements in place, we'll start off by implementing a proof of concept first to make sure the adoption is fully successful. And once we complete the POC, we start off to create and validate the full content, and then we close it by deploying and then we close it by deploying and supporting the adoption fully so that it is usable in the upcoming days. So once the plan is completed and the implementation is fully successful, we have to make sure we are monitoring the environment and the data properly so that the solution stays effective. And over here we have 5 ready to use monitoring options that is already available in Fabric. First one is the admin monitoring workspace that is right now in preview, and this will provide you a centralized location for administrators to monitor various aspects of the system. And the second one is the Fabric Monitoring Hub, which offers like a comprehensive view of the system performance and the health. Audit logs is going to be your usual audit logs where you track the user activities and the system events. And we have a new report from Fabric, which is called the Feature Usage and Adoption Report, which provides you an understanding of how different features that we discussed previously are being utilized. And this can help you identify which features are popular among the users and which ones may need more attention or improvement. And finally, we have the warehouse monitoring tool in place, which helps you monitor the query activity and insights as well. So once we have completed the implementation, it is crucial to stay updated and improve on top of what we have. So for that, we recommend looking at the Microsoft Fabric blogs, and this is a valuable resource to keep an eye on latest news, updates, and insights directly from the Microsoft Fabric team itself. And we have the Microsoft Fabric documentation, so this provides like a comprehensive resource on how to use Fabric, including guides, tutorials, and reference materials. And we have a very friendly Microsoft Fabric community where you can actually post your questions and get responses directly from experts and other users of Fabric software. So the last one is Fabric on social media. They regularly post updates on LinkedIn and X about their recent announcements, and we can also follow that to make sure we are updated.